have a desire to speak, but a fear of being heard. I guess it's a fear of misunderstanding. We're on the floor. I have a desire to speak, but a fear of being heard. I guess it's a fear of misunderstanding or a fear of sounding like an idiot. I think we all have that. It's a complication when it comes to doing YouTube, obviously, because it's sort of an inherently egocentric medium where you put yourself out there, then there's this the question of what is your appeal, the question of I'm here speaking, but why should you care about what I have to say? And that usually comes down to a couple different things. Either you're real smart and you can articulate things really well, and you can put forth words that you are good at explaining ideas that other people have in a way that they can't explain because they don't have the linguistics to explain it. Or you're really funny and you get to people on that visceral funny level, you feel like they're that funny friend in the room who's always got the best joke. You bring levity, you make people smile. Or maybe you appeal to people in sort of the visceral level of hatred. You can hate someone. Maybe you're such an idiot that it's entertaining. There's a catharsis in watching you because you're just the dumbest fucking person on the planet. Maybe that's the category I should fall into. Maybe I should if I weren't me and I followed me, would I get a catharsis about how much of a fucking idiot I am? I don't know. What brings this up? Probably, I've watched some of the DigiNay befriending the internet videos, and it's a frustrating experience, having grown up with this person, and a lot of the things discussed to me, I have always been sort of a fembrain, emotionally intelligent, very in touch with, very self-aware, in touch with emotions. It's easy for me to understand these sort of concepts, and everything that is discussed, I go, well, no shit, Sherlock. This is all kind of fucking obvious to me. Even as an outsider looking in on a lot of topics, it's hard to speak on because there's certain things, these types of videos, you watch a 2.5 hour long video and you feel like you want to pause it and break down every little fucking thing. Even though it's like, who am I to say what about whatever? And then there's sort of the response to these things is like, people have these big sort of epiphanies, these sort of breakthroughs, and like this is very important to them. They're sort of absorbing this information for the first time, and I kind of realize how stunted most people are, how it really is difficult for a lot of people to understand themselves and emotions in general, and I've always just been someone who just kind of gets it. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's because I'm mentally retarded. I don't know. But I guess it's interesting. But then it's like, how do you speak and respond on that? I don't know. I'm gay. Anywho, that's not the point of this video. Talked about this before. YouTube is just a very egocentric platform, because it's, for generations, for hundreds of years, we've had actors. We've had the concept of acting, getting on stage, taking on a new persona, and YouTube is the space where life and acting, the line is blurred to the greatest extent it's ever been. It's basically like method acting that's always on 100% of the time, and you are method acting as the persona you create as yourself. And I think people definitely have a tendency to get lost in that. They have a tendency to get confused about who they are and sort of turn ego up to 11. Maybe they get so caught up in their own bullshit. Maybe they think they're so smart that they end up saying some shit that they really should not have said, or start having opinions on topics that they really don't understand. And that, you know, that again comes back to the question of, like, why do you watch what you watch? You know, are you portraying yourself as an authority or an intellectual authority, like you have the intellectual credentials of being a smart guy who has takes on things, and therefore your takes go out into the world with this critical eye, and then there's almost an assumption from an audience who doesn't know who you are that your take, that you do think you're intelligent and that you do think your take matters, even though to you and your audience, you know that you're just having fun voicing an opinion, and the other people watching you don't understand that you're just some guy, you know, and you're not putting on any pretensions that you know what you're talking about. Say hi to Lala. She's hanging out. That's good, cat. That's good, kitty. Can you see her? It's looking dark in the screen. She's quite happy to see me. Anywho, I have a desire to speak, but I have a fear of being heard. 'Cause, you know, I'm just some guy. I'm some guy with takes and opinions, just like any other guy. Like, everyone has takes, everyone has opinions, and they have fun sharing them, you know? But am I smart? I don't know. It's fun to share opinions and takes. Everyone enjoys it. And I guess at the end of the day, all that matters is that you find the people who empathize and agree with your particular takes, because there's always someone out there. Like, there's gotta be hundreds and thousands of people who are sort of thinking on my same wavelength, who, you know, could only find me through this sort of platform. You know, maybe they're looking for that person who their opinions just click. You're just like, yeah, this guy speaks to what I'm thinking. I think my sister has certainly found that sort of audience, the real hardcores who are just like, you just put this shit in a way that no one else puts it, that resonates with me, and I'm happy for those people that are sort of getting that emotional attachment out of those sorts of videos, which for me personally, I just go like, this is a bunch of shit that's obvious to me. I don't know. Lala now really wants to be pet, and she's giving me the paw. She doesn't know what's happening. She doesn't understand that I'm talking to the interwebs. So this is the empty room. Still a few boxes in here. The guest room. We have no idea what we're doing with this. Oh, by the way, this is a house update. If you hadn't gathered, that's the goal here. I'm gonna show you around my house again. Show you the new things. We put up this neat shelf in the kitchen. We got this at IKEA. We're trying to optimize this tiny kitchen. We have this real small kitchen, and it makes it quite complicated to cook in here because there's not a lot of space. So we initially got the big cooking cabinet thing, and then we put the shelf up here to hang our essential tools, so that it's easy to access these things while we're chopping up veggies and shit. I put up this shelf. These shelves, I cut them, I stained them, stuck them on the wall. We got some cool Junji Ito. Hope's got every fucking Junji Ito that's released in the US, and one of them that we got in Japan. Got my Monster Hunter guy here. Corpse Dragon, he's pretty cool. Got a new TV stand. We got this gigantic fucking bookshelf at IKEA. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. It's so huge. Fits so much jank. Besides that, I wanted to walk through the new studio setup. That's probably the more exciting thing to witness. It's gonna be quite dark up here. Wow. Oh, so anyways, the real reason I'm recording this is that we've got a bunch of videos on deck. We've got Today I'm supposed to be working on our B&A video. We finished Brand New Animal. And I sat down to edit it and I forgot that for some reason anytime you download anime, they always give you MKV files which don't open up in Adobe Premiere. So I have to handbrake them, and I forgot to do that, and I'm running out of time because Hope will get home in like an hour. So I was like, whatever, I'll do a vlog. I've been meaning to do a new studio setup explanation because I really like the way it's going. I really like the lighting that I've been achieving here. So anyways, you know, you got the big camera all rigged up. He doesn't have his monitor because I'm using it to shoot now. We're got the floor gang going on. It's got Hope this new chair. Got a chair for myself. Do I have audio? I do have audio. Okay. Got my floor gang chair. I made this little floor gang desk out of scrap wood. It's pretty basic. And then we got the lighting. So this, my friends, is a Quasar Science tube. This is an LED tube. It's basically a replacement for, you know, like the fluorescent lighting that you have in the ceiling. It's those kinds of tubes. But basically in the film industry, one of the industry standard lights is called a Kinoflow by Celeb. And it's usually a 4 foot, 2 to 4 foot bank of 4 of those tubes. And that's just a very standard lighting unit, like very popular in high-end professional film shit. You have Kinoflow banks that usually have 4 of those tubes in it, and you put some diffusion in front of it. But in more recent years, a brand called Quasar Science came out, making those same tubes but LED instead of fluorescent or whatever. So I've got a couple of these tubes individually because you can buy the tubes individually. They're $75 each, and then you can get 4 and you can put them, you can rehouse them in the old Kinoflow lighting units, or you just take those bulbs out and put these bulbs in, and it saves electricity, and they're just generally newer and nicer and less power intensive, which can matter on bigger sets where you're using lots of lights. But anyways, I've got one of those tubes set up in there with a, this is just black Cinefoil. It's just expensive foil that you can put around lights to help control the lighting so that it's hitting us in the chairs and not spilling onto the background. And then on the background we have our simple colored LED lights. Got one on each side, basically favoring the wall more than us. So the way that these are hitting the wall, it's kind of a, like the blue is going to be predominant because I'm shooting it directly at the wall, and it's a whitish gray wall, so it fills in pretty nicely. And then the pink is kind of half on the wall, but mostly acting as an edge light for us because it's a contrast with the blue. So it helps separate our bodies from the background because you're creating a color contrast. So if the background is blue and the edge on us is pink, you get that nice color contrast. We've got the TV back there, the robot head. Cool shit. I really like this. I like this setup a lot more than the last house is set up, because here we kind of have more freedom. In particular, it's a billion times easier to light in here because of our new floor gang setup, because ideally when you're lighting you want to have the lights sort of at a 45-degree angle above your head, and that's a lot harder to achieve when you're standing up or sitting on a high couch with a room with a low ceiling versus like sitting on the floor. It's super easy, even with these tiny shitty like Amazon Basics fucking light stands, to get the light high enough to be at an optimal position. So really easy optimal lighting setup. And them's the beans, so that's probably how it's going to be for a while. I think it looks pretty neat. Let me know if you think it looks neat. Hopefully this was an entertaining vlog. More content on the way. Thinking about doing some more live streams. We're about to start playing The Last of Us 2. Might stream that. It's been hard getting back into this, you know? I'm sure you realize by our lack of frequency in uploads that it's like... It's been difficult. I'd say I've been having a bout of the old depression. A little bit of light depression. A little bit of existential dread going on in these in this last month since we moved. I think it's like there's a weird sense when you've accomplished your goals. Like for the last year or so, what were my main life goals? They were get married, which has happened, buy a house, which has happened. So those life goals have been accomplished. So what's left, you know? Maintain my marriage for as long as possible, you know, until death do us part, which I don't think is going to be too hard. And it's sort of a passive goal that you work through by being really good to each other and being a good boy. But so right now, what is my life goal? It's, well, first of all, you know, there's the need. There's survival, you know, you gotta make money, you gotta survive. That's happening because I'm getting unemployment from the federal government. The federal government is allowing me to live right now. So there's that weird, like, there isn't a fiery rush to get back into doing anything super hard. Which is nice, to an extent, but there's also, like, sometimes you need a fire under your ass to get the proper motivation to really change something, I guess. Anyways, that's besides the point. The point is, I'm at that point now where now the only life goal ahead of me is figure out my fucking career. And I still don't know where that is meant to go and how the fuck I'm gonna get there, especially coming off of this coronavirus epidemic, where now I'm starting to see on Instagram and shit, like, people I know working again, which bothers me because I'm not working again. And then it's like, I'm struggling as it is to even get YouTube videos off the ground, which now I feel that, like, I've overpromised in terms of, like, patron rewards and all that. And it's that pressure of now I've turned YouTube into work in addition to knowing that I need to get my focus back on actual work that makes me money, you know, because YouTube is not gonna pay off for a very long time, if ever. I know that sounds weird when I have the Patreon and that is successful, but it's like, that is not a living wage. I'm sure you're all aware. It's just it's a nice little bonus, but so I don't know where the focus should be. My day-to-day focus is figure out YouTube videos, you know? It's fuck, I gotta get these things done, I gotta get back on track so we can make everyone happy and proud of us, I guess. I don't know, you know? I want to feel good about doing the YouTube shit. And I want to get back to that and have fun and enjoy making them again. I want to do the Fate video part 2 and keep building this channel. But there's also my fucking asses on the line now in terms of getting back to actual work, and I have no idea where to start. And there's just the existential dread of what the fuck how the fuck do I do this? How do I get back to this? There's the fear of sucking at it since it's been so long now, since I haven't been on a set in fucking ages, because this year was already hard before all this shit happened. So it's like, now that I've been away from it for so long, how do I get back to it? I don't know. And, like, there's having confidence, like, to an extent you just gotta have faith that it's gonna go back to normal and that things are gonna work out, because it's sort of like luck and faith is kind of what's gotten me this far, you know? It's always kind of been being in the right place at the right time, the right thing kind of working out, and staying alive in that way. And that there's never been a clear path, there's never been a clear destination. Things just kind of happened right and kept me along. And I think that's part of why it makes it so confusing as to how to get back in action, because it's always just kind of been things went a certain way and then I got lucky. So I'm just waiting for the luck again. And you can't count on luck. Luck will drive you insane. So I don't know. I don't know how much pressure I should be putting on myself, because I'm certainly putting a ton on myself, but it's not going anywhere, because I'm waking up, I feel like shit all the time, I'm lazy, and I don't know what to do, and then I just kind of end up passing the days by, feeling like I got nothing done at all, when there's the obvious temporary things that I could get done in a day. The house has been a huge distraction, but I think that's finally gotten to a point. Like, I forgot to show you guys the blinds. I put up blinds. That was, like, the last huge thing we needed to do. That was just a fucking huge pain in the ass. Because for some reason buying blinds is next to impossible. But, yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what the fuck the goal is right now. And it's quite tricky. And this isn't a pity party. This is, I'm just doing a vlog. I'm speaking my mind. Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully it's fun. I expect nothing. That's just kind of where I am right now. Maybe some of you guys are in the same boat, and this is, there's some catharsis here seeing that I'm in the same boat, That's the joy of this sort of friendly human YouTube interaction type video, right? Is that that we're all in the same fucking boat. Not sure where we're going in this this whole fucking, everything's just a fucking mess. It's all a clusterfuck. Pang. Pang. Got the 48-hour film festival coming up. I did that the last 3 years, and I beat the game every time. And now I'm like, am I gonna do it again this year? Because if I haven't made anything for all year, if the first thing I make is something that I literally have to pay to participate in, gives me no validation whatsoever, and basically, like, it'll be the first fucking thing I've done all year, will that be disappointing for me emotionally? Maybe. Or maybe just maybe the act of doing it will give me the momentum to get back into real life, Maybe that as like a final fun thing, it'll be like, now that I've put personal projects that are fun in the way, usually, like, I guess what I need to do, because the way things tend to go for me is that the busier I make myself, the more things line up. Like, if I'm not busy at all, like I am now, I will just be miserable, and things will continue to be that way. They will flatline for as long as it takes me to work through that misery. This is the cycle. So, usually the end of that cycle is trying to overwhelm myself with work by taking a bunch of projects that I don't care about, or unpaying shit, and sort of creating this artificial momentum that ends up, like, now that there's things that I want to do, jobs will come up that are in the way of the things that I want to do, and then I can get paid and get back to regular work. Maybe it'll work that way? I don't know. But there's certainly a momentum has to be built, which is why I'm trying to get back to doing the YouTube videos, because it's like, I need to get out of the slump. The post-moving slump, where it's like there's so much built up fear and anxiety over, like, getting back to what I'm doing and failing, maybe? It might be the fear of failure, or the fear of no one giving a shit. I don't know. There's a lot of complex hang-ups going on in this body. There's the kind of stuff where it's like, you've gone through the same routines and traps for so long that you're like, there's no changing this personality at this point. There is learning to work with it in the most productive way possible, which at my best I am able to do quite well. I am able to maintain productivity despite my my hang-ups. It's just right now the hang-ups are dominating the productivity. It's gone down that road where more time is being spent anxious and useless than being productive. And I gotta flip it around. I gotta increase productivity. Anywho, I guess that's it for this. I've rambled long enough. I've held on this shot because I think it's really well lit. This is, if you guys want to know like what is really aesthetically nice, this is it. You've got edge fill coming in here with the purple. You've got a perfect backlight coming from the sun on that side. The sun is in a perfect position to give me a hard backlight. From here, there's a window in front of me giving me a soft key, because you see the sun is back there, so any light coming from this window is reflected light, which means that this is probably double diffused, beautiful, perfect light. It's got a nice warmth coming in from that way because the sun is getting low in the sky, even though it's fucking 4 o'clock or whatever. But like, this is perfect lighting, because you've got single source key lighting. It's very ideal for like a dramatic cinematic lighting, because it's giving me this shadow here. This is perfect. This is what you want. This is what you look for. That perfect shadow. And then you got the when you do your backlight, you generally want the edge to be on that shadowed side. Because if that edge wasn't there, I would just be disappearing into the darkness of this background. So you've got bright here, fading off, trailing off into darkness there, and then you've got a perfect edge separating me from the background. Fucking stellar. This shouldn't be pink. This should be a more neutral color. But like, you see the effect it's giving on my hair, where now my hair is standing out. You see it on that side too. That crisp ear hair line up to here. Light coming through on the hair. Like, this is fucking phenomenal lighting. And because the source of the window is in front of me, you see the sparkle in my eye. That's another thing you generally want to go for, is getting that sparkle, that QT sparkle in the eye. So this, my friends, is perfect lighting. It is gorgeous. In my book, if I were lighting an interview, this is kind of an aesthetic I would probably be trying to go for. Take that snapshot. Look at that. Now it's not the reflective surface back there in the sort of light hitting that wall isn't ideal, because now it's creating something that's brighter than my face in the background. But like, on my face is looking pretty decent lighting. Alright, I'll shut up. Alright, bye.